Hello and welcome to Karma's a Stitch. My name is Tanya. This is where I talk about my crafts and the things that I've been doing and working on. The way I've been doing it this year is oops, I bumped the camera. I'm so sorry. I have cubbies on the wall behind the camera, and each of the cubbies has 1 to 2 projects in it. There's 18 cubbies, and I have been rolling the dice. I have a dice app on my iPad, and I roll the dice, and whatever cubby it tells me, it leads me to a project bag, and that's the project that I work on. Now, I work on that project for 1 week unless I finish it within those 7 days. So if I finish a project, let me wait until Alex gets her iPad turned off. If I finish a project in that week, then I will record an episode, share the FO with you guys. But if I don't finish it in the week, on day 7, I come back, I share my progress, things that I've learned about the project, and then I put it back on the shelf and back in its cubby, and then I roll the dice again. So last Friday night, I rolled the dice and I ended up getting my bluegrass shawl, and it is 100% brioche. And this here is just showing me the front side versus the back. So I'm trying to keep all of the dark colors on the front, and I'm trying to pair them with light colors. Okay, so that's the difference that I'm trying to do. Now, if you look, this right here is the front side, but the stitch marker down there, that's where I was last Friday when I pulled this out of its cubby. So that is my progress this week. That's pretty great, I feel. Like, that's pretty good. That's a lot of brioche for me, considering this is the first time I've done a full brioche project. So from here all the way up. Now, last week when I started this project, I'm just going to move my progress keeper up. Last week when I started this project, like, I'm not super great with brioche. I'm not very familiar with brioche. Like that first night, I had made a mistake. I had forgotten that you do the right side with the main color, and then you go back and do the right side with your contrasting color, and I had forgotten that. And then I was like, okay, let's fix that. I realized what I had done wrong that night. I tinked back and got back on track. And so then the next morning when I started the brioche again, for some reason in my mind, I had one row that was different, and then all the rest of them were the same. And there's actually 2 rows. I have an increase row and a decrease row, and I had missed one of those, so I had to tink back all of those as well. So that was 2 mistakes, all within the first 24 hours of working on that project. So at that point, I was like, okay, I really need to focus on this one clearly. And so I was doing really good. I was doing really good with that until this last Wednesday. And this last Wednesday, I don't know if you can hear it, I'm a little congested. And Wednesdays are a really busy day for me. We get up, we get Anthony to his class by 7:50. We got to get Alex to school, and I wasn't supposed to have Alex this week, but her dad went out of town, so I got to have the week with her again. So I had to get her to school, and I was feeling a little stuffy, I guess is what I'll say. And then Wednesday is also the day I cover at the yarn shop, and I get to volunteer some time there. And somewhere along the way, I had ended up doing the increase row and back, and I got off track, and where I should have done the decrease row, I ended up doing another set of increases, and I just got off track. And I called Erica, who's she's really spoiled everybody that knows her. I called her, she's our shop owner, and I asked her if she was planning on coming to the shop on Wednesday, and she came by and she pulled my needle out, dropped all my brioche stitches, and pulled all the colors out and got me back down on track, and then picked my stitches back up for me. I had to just walk away from it. I couldn't watch her do it. I knew that she was going to pick it up and it was going to be just fine. I just couldn't watch her do it. So I think I either got a picture or a video of the project at that state. So I'll include that here. But I am absolutely loving these colors. These are all from an advent that I opened in 2021. I shouldn't say all. The majority of them are from an advent in 2021. They are all from Inner Yarns In. Now, in my project bag here, I have 2 gallon size bags. These are my light colors, these are my dark colors. And so when it's time for me to start a new color, I just grab one from each bag. Now, inside each bag is a sandwich bag, because I'm getting through all of these and then I go through them again. So once I've used all the light colors, then I'll go back. I'm not doubling up. So does that make sense? I'll use each of them. Sorry about the crinkling. I'll use each of the colors one time, and then I'll make them available again. So that's the progress on my bluegrass shawl. It is now time. And the other thing that happened this week, so I know I have mentioned on here that I have really bad carpal tunnel, and I was told over a decade ago that I needed surgery to fix the carpal tunnel, and I really was adamant about avoiding surgery. And so I have braces for each of my arms. One second. So I have braces for each of my arms, which I don't wear unless I'm having a problem. So this week I woke up and my wrist, it's my right wrist, so I can't even demonstrate it. But I woke up and it was like totally folded over. And there's been times I wake up and my hands are numb. And I just slept on it wrong. And so I'm having a bit of an issue with my right arm right now. So I feel good about the progress that I did on this shawl. Maybe if my week had gone like I had anticipated it to go, if I wouldn't have gotten sick, if my wrist wasn't hurting. I'm also recording the tutorials for the March gift make along, which will be up the first Sunday of March. So I've just had a few other things going on this week, which is just fine. I get to do that. But right now, we're gonna roll the dice and see what I'm gonna work on this upcoming week. So I'm gonna turn the camera around. I'm gonna put the bluegrass back in its cubby, and we'll see what we're doing for next week. Okay, so here is the whip wall. Here is where I have put the bluegrass back where it was last week. Now we will roll the dice. 15, 1. So we're going to go to cubicle 15. So we've got 1 through 6, 7 through 12, 13, 14, 15, and number 1. So the first project in here. Let's see here. What project is this? It's a top, I believe. It's the Orange Theory shawl. It's not a top, it's a shawl. And I believe it was crochet. I know the yarn I had originally purchased for a top. It is this purple. And it is not, this light is not doing it justice. It almost glows. And I was going to pair this with black. So the Orange Theory shawl or wrap is what I will be doing this week. I may or may not. I might not. I will try to put a picture in of this one. But it will be up on my my Ravelry page. So that's it for this week, you guys. I will get working on this, and I will see you in a week. Bye. I guess I should show you how far I have gotten. So I cast on over 400 stitches, and because I haven't looked yet, I don't remember if this was a paid for pattern or not. So there are over, I don't want to tell you exactly, but there are over 400 stitches, and I have gotten maybe 1.25 inches all the way through. I will put a progress keeper on here so that I can mark how much I do this week, but that's how much I've gotten done. That's it right there. That's my progress. Well, good morning. It is Saturday, and I rolled the dice last night. I got my Orange Theory wrap or scarf, whatever you'd like to call it. And I went to bed knowing that I wasn't going to get much done last night. I knew that this was the project that I had ordered some new crochet hooks for. Okay, I was super excited to open these. So the fact that I rolled Orange Theory last night gave me an opportunity. And you know, whenever I looked at these, they only have the millimeters written on there. So I had to write the size on the back. But I was super excited to be able to work with these. And in saying that, so I did put a stitch marker on. Okay, that's right about where I was. I'm 1 row up. Okay, I haven't done this part yet, but this stitch marker would go 1 row up, but I don't want it to interfere whenever I get to working on that. Yes. No, I have. So I've done this top row. This top row is what I put on last night, because this is as far as I got. This is as far as I got last night, just this 1 row. And this thing is really quite lengthy. Okay, and I got this much done before I realized that if I spend this week working on this crochet project, I could really hurt myself. I just in that little bit last night, almost every stitch is bothering my wrist. So I need to roll the dice again. Last night when I rolled the crochet project, I thought, let's just see how it goes with these new hooks. Sorry, let me just see how it goes with these new hooks. But I'm still having to just twist my wrist a little too much. It's I have a hard time grabbing. I can grab it and I have some good, you know, pressure, strength in it. But as soon as I try to turn a door handle, I'm having a hard time, which sucks. It's no fun. I'm not super excited about this. Like just putting my coffee cup down and setting it down, just the bending. And I'm sure you won't be able to see it, but it is swollen right here. My other wrist is not swollen. Anyway, not that you could see that, but I'm having a hard time with my wrist, and knitting has never seemed to bother my wrists. And I think it's because when I'm knitting my wrist, I have worked really hard on knitting and holding my wrist straight. So there is no bend in my wrists when I'm knitting like there is when I'm crocheting. So unfortunately, I am going to have to put the Orange Theory back in its spot. I'm not going to be able to get the work done on it that I was anticipating, but I would rather take care of myself and be productive than try to stick to some self-imposed rule about, you rolled that project, Tanya, you need to work on that. I don't, and I'm not going to. I'll end up hurting myself, and I really do need to just give my wrist a rest for a couple of days. I can put my braces on while I'm knitting and still knit, because I do keep my wrists in that position while I'm knitting. I can't do that when I'm crocheting. So I'm gonna put this project back out of spot 15-1. I'm gonna take a drink of my coffee because that's what time of day it is. And we are going to roll the dice again and see what I get to spend the day working on. 17-2. So if that was 15, 16, and there's only one project in 17, and I believe this is my Morrison scarf. It is. So this is my Morrison scarf. This is the third one that I am making. This is the scarf. If you watched February's gift make along, this is the project. This is the pattern. It's free on Ravelry that we did our cup cozy with, or our ball cozies, our ball huggers, our ball things. Now this wool that I'm using on this, I have one skein, and this is hedgehog fibers, and this was a potluck colorway. So it came out of the box at the yarn shop, and I was like, holy cow, I don't know what I'm gonna make with that, but I need to have that color in my world. So it never made it to the shelf at the yarn shop. So I am holding this with some Cascade Heritage black, and I am just planning on going, and that white bag that's in that cubby is additional skeins of this black, and I am just going to make this scarf as long as this skein will allow. That's my plan. This is something I can absolutely work on. It's not going to bother my wrist. It's a knitted project, and I'm going to spend my week working on this. This will be a very easy project. I have quite a bit left in this skein, so I'm not sure if I will actually have an FO, or if next Saturday, because I am rolling the dice on a Saturday for this one, and I'm going to give each project a week. So next Saturday morning, I'll roll again unless I finish this project. Today is going to be a pretty easy day, just hanging out at the house. I've been up, I've let the dogs out, I fed them, played with them. I've got Lily over here. She's relaxing because that's what she does best. Anthony and Alex are still sleeping. So I've got some quiet time here this morning that I can enjoy my coffee, which is delicious, and work on my Morrison scarf. So I hope everybody's doing good. Please understand that I just have to take care of myself right now, and my wrist is, if I did not have, I have a doctor's appointment in 2 weeks, and it's just for my annual, aging annual, when they do your blood work and take your vitals and tell you, yes, this is all normal. But I do have that appointment in 2 weeks. And if I didn't have that appointment in 2 weeks, I would probably be calling to make an appointment about this. But right now, I think I'm going to spend the next 2 weeks before that appointment just giving my wrist a rest and taking care of myself, and then asking her if it's still bugging me at that appointment. So that's my plan. And is it 2 weeks? I think it's just over a week that I go in and see her. So I've got a week to get this under control before I have to talk to a professional about it. So you guys, I had someone tell me, oh, Tanya, you're going to have to take it easy. Just put the crafts down. I don't know that my sanity would allow that. Even if I am just working at a very slow pace, but even that crochet, I couldn't do at a slow pace without each stitch hurting. So we are going to take it easy. I'm going to take care of my painful wrist and see what I can get done on this week. All right, you guys, I'll see you all soon. Bye. Okay, so I thought that I would get on here and just show you guys, if you look at my wrist while I'm knitting, my wrist is doing absolutely nothing. There's no twisting, there's no bending. This is so much better for my wrist than when I'm crocheting and I'm having to bend with each stitch. It's just painful for me to do that right now. But if I can sit here and knit, my wrist is not doing anything. My index finger is doing the most work there is with the way I hold my wool, the way I hold my needles. My index finger is doing the most work. Okay, so that's kind of what I was talking about. Like, I could absolutely take it easy and knit with this wrist issue, but trying to take it easy and crochet, a very different story. So just thought I'd give you guys an idea of what I'm talking about. This is definitely something I could do this week. Good morning. Happy Sunday. I am getting up. I'm getting ready to edit this video and put it together. And I thought I would share with you the progress I made yesterday. Since I re-rolled the dice yesterday morning, here's where I was yesterday. I've made pretty good progress. And it really does. Knitting is so much better on my wrist than crocheting is, especially when my wrist is already irritated. So there's my progress. I don't feel like this skein of yarn is getting any thinner. I still have quite a bit left of this, and I am getting ready to finish off my first skein of the Cascade Heritage Black. I do have 2 more of these. When I originally did the math for this project, I figured it would take 3 of the excuse me, I had a yawn. I figured it would take 3 of these for 1 of these full skeins. So that's where I'm at right now. And that's my progress for one day. We'll see how I do by next Saturday morning.